She goes. Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Anthony back in my RC station again here today. Check this out guys, we have the new Tim Carley Spark xB6 in the house on the bench. Super stoked to have this in the channel. This thing is looking pretty sweet as you can see. This is going to be a lot of fun. But before I get too hyped up and get ahead of myself, I just want to say a huge thank you and shout out to the guys at Tim Carley for sending this over for us to check out, for us to try out. I really appreciate that. You guys are pretty awesome. So let's just scan through the box here and take a look at some of the specs and also check out some of the highlighted parts that they have on this vehicle. Here we have some 3 colors to choose from. We have a red, green, and blue. They also have this as a roller option, which is pretty cool for Tim Carley to offer that for anybody that wants to run their own electronics. I think that is pretty cool. We have an RTR here and it is in red as you can see. And speaking of RTR, here are the electronics that is powering this vehicle. We have a Curon 185 2050 kV 4S to 6S capable brushless motor. We also have a Torx 185 150 amp ESC, and by the way, this is a rebranded Max 8 ESC, just in case if you are wondering, which is actually pretty cool. That just tells me that Tim Carley are using some high quality electronics on their vehicle, which is pretty awesome to know. 25 kilogram servo over here, which is pretty generous for an RTR if you ask me, and that should be plenty enough for this buggy here, and it's all metal gears as you can see. Here we have a 2-channel radio, which is plenty enough for bashing, and it covers a full range of 300 meters, which is way more than what I need, but it's always good to know that you are always in range for peace of mind. Here are the dimensions of the vehicle, the length, the width, the height, the wheelbase, just in case if you are wondering. You can take a pause and take a look at the numbers right there. On the other side of the box, we have some highlighted parts that's on this vehicle. We have some extra large, high quality rubber sealed ball bearings. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Tim Carley are using some EVEC 3 bearings on their vehicle, because I do notice that smoother rides on their trucks, which is pretty cool. So that's probably because they are using some high quality bearings, which is pretty awesome to know. Some CNC machine steel gears differential here. I just want to say, and I think it's worth mentioning, that I haven't had any stripping issues with any Tim Carley cars dated from last year with the Punisher that they sent me, and that car is actually 2021 model, which is a pretty major win in my book if you ask me. So hopefully that trend will continue on with this new model here. Here we have some strong and wear resistant hardened spring steel out drive cups, input cups, axles right there. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Tim Carley are the only company that uses this type of materials on their vehicle, which is extremely durable material, and again it's wear resistant, so this thing can last for quite a long time. We have some oversized heavy-duty composite suspension arms with aluminum anti-tear rings. I want to point out something, because on my last 2 bash session with my Punisher, I did yank out one of the rear arms off of the hinge pins, and this red aluminum anti-tear rings right here will definitely keep that from happening. This is the best way to really add some durability to your already super beefed up suspension arms. 5mm thick CNC machine aluminum shock towers, and here we have some heavy duty tower brace, and I really love the fact that this is anchored in right in the middle. It is bolted right in the middle right there. Let's take a look at the picture. You can see it is bolted right on top of the motor mount top plate, which is pretty awesome. That is going to give it more rigidity and some added strength right there, having bolted it right in the middle, which is pretty awesome to see. We have some 16mm aluminum big bore shocks. I haven't had any issue with their shocks either. And last but not least, we have some CNC machine aluminum slide out motor mount, which is pretty awesome. Makes it a lot easier to swap motors and change pinions and stuff. Alright, so let's crack this thing open and see what we got in the box. Here is the transmitter that comes with the vehicle. It's a pretty decent looking radio, as you can see. It's got a pretty good spring tension on the trigger. Foamed steering wheel feels pretty good. And here is your typical knobs and button. It's got a toggle on and off switch at the bottom right there. It's got your steering trim, throttle trim, and steering dual rate. You have a power indicator on the left side, and here on the right side you have what looks to be a battery life indicator. So you can keep an eye on the battery life that's powering this radio, which is a pretty cool feature. I really like that. And here at the bottom you got the battery tray. Uses 4 AA batteries, as you can see. And it looks like you might be able to power this with a LiPo. Yes, you can. Check that out, guys. You can actually use a LiPo to power this radio, which is pretty cool. So I might use a 2S battery to power this radio to kind of extend the life and the usage of this radio. I really like that feature. That's pretty dope. I'm also liking these holes on the handle here to get some airflow going. That's pretty cool. Here's the manual that comes with the vehicle. It looks like they give us some extra spring. I'm assuming these are thicker springs. We have some bind plugs right there, some receiver tube, keychain, and here we have what looks to be like a lanyard or something. I'm not gonna go through the manual booklet here, guys, but I highly recommend you guys keep your manual just in case if you want to work on your car and you're not sure of a lot of things. You can always refer back to the manual. And also, if you're looking for part numbers, everything is in the manual, so I highly recommend you guys keep your manual. It's very important. Alright, so let's get to the buggy itself here. Let's take this plastic out so we can take a better look at it. Here it is, guys. Looks pretty cool. I'm really liking the different color scheme that they have going on in this body. It looks actually thicker than I thought. That's pretty cool. And of course, it's got your body clips tethered over here, which is a pretty nice feature. Alright, so let's take a look at the inside of the buggy here. Suspension feels pretty good. Straight out of the box, I think this is going to absorb some big air landings out there, so that's pretty cool. Starting from the front here, these tires are a little stiff, but I think they're gonna hold up and keep it from ballooning on high RPM, so that's pretty good. I'm really liking this shock caps protector over here to give the shocks and the tower a little bit more protection, since they are the most exposed parts of this vehicle, of this buggy. Check out this super beefy suspension arms here. And again, I have mentioned earlier this red aluminum anti-tear ring that they have on here. I love the fact that it is on both sides of the arms, in the front and also in the back. That should keep it from yanking off the hinge pins, which happens to me before. We got pillowable suspension in the front, got sway bars in the front and the back as well. 16mm big bore shocks, as I've mentioned before. And here's that tower brace that they have here. I love the fact that it is anchored right there in the middle, bolted right there in the center, just to give it a little bit more rigidity and give it a little bit more strength. Extra beefy fixed links that they have on this vehicle. I don't know if you can actually see this, but they got some super beefy chassis braces in there as well. So pretty stout setup. Let's check out the back here. Super stout wing mount, as you can see, with some extra webbing in there. Sway bars, so that's pretty good. And I believe they are using the same exact wing on their vehicle. It's just different graphics and stickers that they have on it. It's got some extra wing support right there to keep that wing nice and secure, which is pretty cool. From what I can see, they are using the same receiver box servo mount combo from their previous vehicle, as well as their adjustable battery tray. As you can see right there, you can actually unbolt this and move it backwards if you are using longer batteries. And like I said, we have a 150 amp ESC, 2050 kV motor, and 25 kilogram servo, which are powering this vehicle, which I think is plenty enough for this light buggy. ESC switch, nice and tucked in right there. It's nice and neat. Of course, dual XT90 connectors, just in case if you want to run two 2S battery or two 3S battery with a loop, just in case if you want to run a single battery. So you got that covered right there. Look at the bottom of the chassis with some Tim Corelli marking on it, engineered to be the fastest and push your limits. One thing that I noticed now that we have this upside down is that they don't have that skid plate bumper combo that they have on their other vehicle, which would have been a really nice addition to this car here, this buggy here, to give it a little bit more protection at the bottom. But anyway, that is gonna do it for this unboxing breakdown of the Tim Corelli Spark xB6. I just want to give a huge thank you again to Tim Corelli for sending this over for us to check out, for us to try out. I really appreciate that. So let's get this thing out there, give it a rep and see how she does, and let's have a good time out there. All right, what's up guys? We got the Spark xB6 out here for a quick rip. Let's see how she does. She goes. She's completely bone stock at the moment. The only thing I did to it is just I cut down the connectors to one because I run a single pack. I also swapped to the thicker spring just to give it a little bit more dampening, but that's about it. Stock gearing, stock diff fluids, Everything's stuck except the spring and the connectors. How you doing, man?
I'm good. And I saw that fly across. I never saw you standing there. And I was like, where the hell that come from? How fast is it?
Right now it's a stock setup. I would say like 50, 55 miles an hour. Yeah. You can gear it up and go up to like 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, like the battery just popped out. Looks like the battery strap must have broken on us, guys. Let's check it out. Alright guys, well that was pretty unfortunate for our first jump. Basically what happened was the battery strap just completely snapped on us. I actually just unplugged the battery. Might have been when it hits the ramp. So I also added this foam in here just to kind of protect the battery inside the battery tray. The truck is fine, nothing wrong with it. It's just the battery strap that snapped on us. But she did rips pretty good on pavement out here. So, well, it is what it is. You know, things like that happen. So I might just have to replace that battery straps for next time. So, alright guys, that is gonna do it for the Spark. It was a quick rip out here. We'll get this thing home, get it cleaned up, fix the battery straps, and yeah, we'll bring this beauty out here again soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.